What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most important NYCFC talk show. You're hanging with the dudes in blue on this Labor Day. What's going on, everybody? It's episode 121. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm your host, Joe Amato, and alongside me, as always,
Antonino. What is up, everybody?
Dude, what's going on?
Frustration.
Yeah, a lot of it. Well, we thank you guys for joining us on this Labor Day. If you're watching the live show on Facebook, let us know where you are tuning in from, and we'll definitely mention your name in the show. I got a couple people to say hi to right off the bat, saying hello to Jorge, to Steven, to Joey. My mom is in here. What's up? Christian Smith, Lalo coming back in, and JR stopping by as well. Hope you guys enjoyed your Labor Day. Hope you guys had a Labor Day full of just chilling.
Of not labor.
And not labor. That's interesting how we celebrate that. And, hey, Anthony Merced is stopping by, saying he's alive back from the wilderness. We'll have to ask him about that later on. Roddy Russell coming in with a big old sigh. Yeah, I know.
Les sigh.
Yeah. So, guys, we're gonna dive into NYCFC losing to Columbus Crew on Saturday night momentarily. But before we do that, make sure to give us the follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Dudes in Blue, and really wish you all a very happy Labor Day. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for spending time with us today. I know it's Monday night. Most of you got to go back to work tomorrow morning, and if you're listening to this on Tuesday, welcome back to work. And, dude, where do we begin here? Because I'm getting kind of tired of the way that things have been going. We've been talking about the same things over and over again. You know, we've now won one game out of our last 6, and we are firmly holding that third place slot. And there's teams that are threatening to jump up and take that from us. Dude, things are not looking good.
No, they are not. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with Alex Ring's post-game comments of team not playing with the intensity and the balls, as he says, the huevos. How do you not? This is your job. If I don't go to work with my focus there and actually doing the work and completing it, I get fired. So these guys are, they're getting paid, albeit not that much. You're getting paid to play a game. Well, your goal is to win the game. You should all be striving for that with the same effort. There should be no reason why any team outworks you. It's a BS excuse. It can't happen, especially not now, especially when you know the way the team has played, at this time of year in the past seasons. The way the playoffs look. You understand. I mean, I don't know if anybody told these guys that Montreal was winning, while they were playing, and maybe that could have given them a boost. I don't know. But even then, you can't scoreboard watch at this point because you lose focus on your own game. I just don't know what it is exactly. I don't know if if it's a coaching thing. Don't get me wrong. We've had a bit of bad luck here with injuries and scheduling for the most part. It's been a little bit rough on us. But again, it's not an excuse to drop points the way we're dropping points, especially because we've been doing it the same thing for the last 3 years.
This has been the time of year, dude, where things have just fallen apart for this team.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm correct, but I don't remember having this many injuries in previous years, going into September and October. I mean, I feel like this year it's really bad. I mean, granted, there were a couple of suspensions this game from Amagat and a Fori from the Red Bull match. But still, I mean, you got major injuries here, man. You got Collins out, you got Burgett out, you got Medina out, but I don't know, man. I just feel like we were so excited about the depth that we had, and this is, it's not coming to fruition. I got to get to some of the comments here, dude, because some people are all commenting about the same exact thing that we need to comment on here.
What is it?
Let me just rattle off some of the names here.
Right.
Stephen Berg asks, why is Wallace still starting? And then Lalo says, Wallace. Costa Rica can just keep him when he goes for international duty. Christian, why is Rodney Wallace still playing? I'm sensing a theme here, dude.
Welcome back to Why is Wallace Playing?
Dude, there's two conversations here, I think, dude. The why start Wallace and then the why not start Jonathan Lewis, right? Okay. Because I think you've got a clear like for like there. But let's focus on the first thing. Why start Wallace? I can't find any reason in performances. I think actually Janusz Michalek during the broadcast, it was either Janusz or Joe Tollison, said that the last time he actually scored was last May. Now, dude, if you're a forward, I'm not saying that it's always your job to score goals, but you got to score some freaking goals. And he's had some sitters.
Or help score goals.
There is nothing positive that I can see from that play. What am I missing here, dude? Is there anything I'm missing?
We've been saying it for months. We've been saying it for over a year now. He disappeared in the middle of last season and has not been found since. The only reason I could think you play him is he's got the experience. Physically, a little bit more physical than Jonathan Lewis. I understand that, maybe. But as far as energy and statistically, just no. I don't see the reason why you even bother anymore. It's clear that he has forfeited his opportunities to play and should be benched. Listen, if you're going to bench other players for doing certain things, you really need to bench him for not being able to do certain things. And he's really got to see the pine pony from now on because he is really like a fork in soup. He's just absolutely useless. And
it's not like we don't have options, dude.
You have plenty of options.
You know what I mean?
It's just that, again, I understand that you're strapped and you've got injuries and suspensions and whatnot. But at the winger position, we have a plethora of players, and you have a clear-cut answer in Jonathan Lewis right there, ready to go. Even if you wanted to put Tati in there, you could have done it.
Correct.
I don't understand why our past two coaches have favored experience over energy. And just
never mind even experience over energy, dude. Just what about results? Look at when you compare apples to apples, dude. When you compare minutes to minutes, there are players that have just come in, dude. Look at Tati. Castellanos has scored his first goal on his first appearance for NYCFC. Now I understand that he was struggling with a little bit of injury there, so I think Dome was just trying to limit his minutes. Obviously, dude. That kind of made sense, right?
It made sense. Sure.
But why are you giving Wallace the nod? Now, dude, he took him out. I believe he took him out at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. I think Ben Sweat came in.
Yes, and then Mata moved up to the front. In that case, why didn't you start Ben Sweat at the back and leave Mata in the front? That's another option you could have dealt with.
Dude.
You had multiple options at that position, and you did not explore them. That one's on the coach. I'm sorry. The thousands and thousands of fans that know Rodney Wallace is useless, really, I just don't understand how you can't figure it out.
Listen, dude, he started strong last season for us in the beginning of the season, but once he fizzled out, he was
never to come back.
It's very, very frustrating. Merced is saying players that produce need minutes. This team doesn't seem to value that at times, and that's very true, dude, because it's coach to coach. It's not even just Dome. It was Patrick Vieira did the same exact thing.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. If you're a coach and you're telling me you're trying to win every game, you need to put out the most energetic squad you can, especially because you've seen the way we've played
that you have
on the road too. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Lethargic. This team is lethargic to watch. There is no sense of urgency. Outside of the first 25 minutes of that game, it was just an abomination to watch. It is so bad. and I don't know what the problem is. I really don't understand how hard it is to get up for a game, especially when you've been off for a week and a half.
Well, that kind of brings me to my biggest issue with this match, dude. Not with this match, but the way that we played. There are too many times, and I'm getting really, really tired of seeing this. Let's actually look at the positive that came out of it. Let's look at the goal that we actually scored. The ball turned over to us in our own third. Maxi Morales quickly moves the ball upfield, sees Tinnerholm making a very quick run, Tajuri Shradi making that overlapping run as well. That goal came from a quick transition play that caught Columbus off, and we were able to score the goal. When you're going up numbers to numbers, that's how we scored that goal. Where was that the rest of the freaking game, dude? Because let me tell you something. I'm getting very, very tired of getting that ball turned over in transition, whether it's in the midfield or whether it's in our own defensive third, and we receive the ball and everybody else just kind of walks and or kind of stands around. And when you give that ball to Alex Ring is that central defensive midfielder. That the play kind of starts with him, dude, a lot of the time. And he doesn't have an option other than to go to Ibiaga or to Chanot because either Maxi's not moving, or his wingbacks are not moving, or our attacking midfielders aren't moving. Nobody is moving, creating an option. So my issue is that lack of urgency, that lack of bite and fight when they receive the ball in a transition. When, dude, mathematically you've got an opportunity to go odd man up. Why are we not running? I understand it's hot, but let me ask you, Columbus had no freaking problem scoring goals on us. Columbus had absolutely no problem scoring goals. That game could have been 5-6-1. Why are we not moving? Why are we not moving the ball fast enough? Doman wants to move the ball fast, dude. Doman wants to move the ball fast. Why are they just not listening to him?
I think that's what it is.
Why?
Honestly,
why?
And that's what I can't figure out.
Then clean house.
I don't. And honestly, listen, that could be a huge part of it. Very seldom do head coaches get a team turned over to them and they can't do anything about it, players-wise. It's a mid-season thing. We couldn't get rid of everybody and get new players in here. It doesn't work like that, and that's something that we have to deal with. But I don't see him as a motivator. I don't know if it's a language barrier thing but listen, this guy's been with Pep for so long. You watch Pep when he's in the locker room, Pep is animated, and he can get the best out of anyone. He'll make you feel that way. I don't get that same feeling from Doman.
Dude,
I get more
Doman's not that guy.
He's not. So you got to figure out how to get your players buying into your system. You have to get them to believe in you. And I don't know if they believe in him or not. But listen, there were points in that game where he was right. You had 4 guys at the back, Alex Ring in the midfield, and everyone else was playing forward. And you can't do that. You can't just be free form all the time. You got to be able to work the ball on the ground, and they're just avoiding it. They're trying to go over the top all the time. You totally eliminated the last 2 or 3 games. Our wingback play has been almost non-existent. I didn't even notice Matarrita for a good chunk of the game.
Yep.
And that's our strength. Bless you. That is our strength. We're at best when everybody is taking part in the offense. From back to front, and we're great when we're defending from front to back, and we're just not doing that. As far as a transition play, I agree with you. There are moments when Sean Johnson gets the ball, and we have numbers because they push so many people forward. You've got to be able to take advantage of that. And you want to play quick. That's when you play quick. Now, I get it. You can't do that all the time because you will be exhausted.
Correct. Of course you can't. You can't keep that up for 90 minutes.
That's what Columbus did to us. They pick their spots where they can do it. If you're smart enough and your coach teaches you where to pick the spots and how to do it, that's a different story. Are we capable? Absolutely. Because I've seen plenty of times David Villa in transition get a ball from Maxi in the midfield, and all of a sudden we've got numbers and we've scored some crazy goals that way. Look at our goal. It came from a transition, and it came down the wings with our wingback. Our fullbacks are an intricate part of the system. They need to be involved as such. They have to be given the ball, given the freedom to go forward and back as needed, but they also need to be able to close those channels down when they're coming back. We have the ability. I know those guys can do it. I've seen them do it time and time again. Do they make mistakes? Yes, everyone does. But it doesn't excuse the fact that you can't just abandon certain game plans. I agree you have to have more than one game plan and a couple different looks, but you can't just abandon the one that's been working for you for the most part. Because when we're winning games, our fullbacks are fully integrated into the offense. They're creating chances. I mean, Ben Sweat gets at least 3 or 4 crosses a game playing left back for us when we're at Yankee Stadium. The size of the field, I don't think has anything to do with it. I think it's a mental thing at this point. I'm not sure. Listen, I'm not ready to kill the coach just yet because we did have a 9-point week when he first got here.
You got to give him a little bit more time to get acclimated.
You do. But again, at the same time, I have to have these players buying in to what the coach is selling.
Well, okay.
If they're not doing it, I just maybe the wrong players are buying in, and that's why he's playing Wallace.
But okay. So I get that, right? I totally get that. The players have to buy in. Now, it's one thing to buy in, but it's another thing to have the quality and the talent to execute what they're buying into. Because, and hear me out here, dude, while we have 83% passing accuracy and 51% of the possession, I'd like to argue that most of that is in our own third.
Sure.
And as soon as we try to play a pass that's, say longer than 10 yards, the ball gets turned over. So I think that, yes, occasionally, dude, we're not playing like out of the bag necessarily as much as we used to. We're playing a little bit longer. We're trying to play a little bit more direct, but our quality in the passing is just not there. Alex Ring, how many long balls do we see Alex Ring completely botch on a pass? How many times do we try to see them switch the point of attack and it ends up on an opposing player's foot? How many times do we see a pass that's, that should hit a player just completely missing? I think there's a lot of things going on here, but I think a big part of this, dude, is the quality is not there. And I could just be saying that because I spent most of the day on Saturday watching Premier League and Serie A games, but I'm telling you, the quality is just not there. We need crisper passing. We need better passers of the ball, dude. Because if you're going to play more direct, it takes one pass. You know this. You watch Italian soccer. If you're going to play direct, it takes one pass to unlock a defense. And we cannot find that one pass.
No, we can't. And our biggest problem is that, especially in this pass game, your best passer of the ball is floating too far forward. He's floating too far forward because people are just changing positions left and right. You can't it's almost like you can't have just one maxi at this point anymore. You need multiple players like that who can get the ball in tight spaces. And again, he has his moments where he's got passes that just drop 5-6 feet short of where they're supposed to be. That can't happen.
Dude, there's 11 guys on the field.
Yeah, you got to be able to get the ball around, fairly quickly. I don't know what the issue is. There's some underlying issue, and I don't know if it's players are unhappy because of new players coming in, or they're unhappy with the coaching style, or they're unhappy with their minutes. But when you're getting your minutes, you're not doing anything with them. Tommy McNamara is absolutely atrocious. And I love Tommy McNamara. We all love Tommy McNamara. Does not belong on the soccer field.
Yeah,
just not cutting it.
Yeah.
Just not cutting it. These guys are not cutting it right now. And I understand it could be a funk, but at some point we've got to realize that this funk has become a pattern this time of the year, and it's ultimately been our downfall the last 2 seasons. We've lost our form right after the half, right? Maybe 3/4 of the way through. We stumble into the playoffs, and all of a sudden we're one and done.
Is this an away thing, dude? Because I want to get to some comments here, dude, because they are lighting up the Facebook feed, and I want to get to some and keep those comments coming, guys, because I promise I will get to as many of them as possible. It's super hard when we're this fired up. But Lalo on Facebook says playing away is getting frustrating and annoying. It's a theme of always not enough huevos, among other things, and it's just getting worse and worse.
But why? Just because you're playing in a different stadium, the game does not change. The rules are still the same. Get the ball out the field, get the ball in the back of the net more times than they do. It's not that difficult. And it shouldn't be a crowd thing. It really shouldn't be a crowd thing, especially when a lot of times we've got a lot of fans in the stands.
Yep.
It can't happen. There is no reason ever for you to say we did not give enough effort.
Yeah. Yep.
It's unbelievable. Or we didn't want it enough. What do you mean you didn't want it enough? What is that? What kind of excuse is that? Now listen, you want to be, if we're going to get beat and they're going to score goals like the first goal they scored, that's fine. I understand that. That's a great goal. We put everybody where they were supposed to be. Sean Johnson got a hand on it. There really isn't much you're going to do from something like that. But then again, then you go give up the second goal 2 minutes later with everybody just ball watching again. It's the same problem every week. I'm getting tired of talking about it. Like, I don't understand how many times you can do the same thing expecting different results. We're talking, literally at this point, same coach, you're getting the same thing again. I'm sorry, different coach, you're getting the same result as last one. You're starting to fall into a pattern where you've corrected certain things and now you've let other things go out the window. You've learned how to beat the high press and you've completely forgotten how to do everything else.
That's right. That's right. Andrew on Facebook says, can't possibly blame the coach with inherited injuries to Herrera, Medina, Collins, Villa for a few games, and dare I say Burgett. I don't necessarily, I'm not putting a ton of blame on Dome here. I hope people are not getting me wrong here because I don't necessarily think that Dome is 100% to blame here. I think I lost Anthony.
Yeah. Not really blaming the guy, but again, we're a little fuzzy here today. You're not blaming the guy. You know, I mean, it's hard, but everyone gets a little equal share. There's a reason why the players aren't giving 110%.
There's 11 players and one coach, right? At the end of the day, the 11 guys on the field that are put there to do the job need to get the job done. Why is it that we were? Let's see, dude, we were outshot 24-7 in this game. We were outshot 24-7.
Mistake.
Now, granted, 6-4 when it came to shot on target, so we were a little bit more efficient than Columbus was. However, that line doesn't matter. The score line is what matters, right? So when I'm looking at Columbus's shots, they took a lot of shots from outside the box. Now, dude, why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we having goes when there's space? Merced, I think, earlier in the comments mentioned something about trying to find Villa. Like, dude, why aren't we taking shots here? Because all it takes is for one to hit the back of the net. Look what happened with Harrison Awful. That goal was incredible. I got to hand it to him. Now, granted, the first one was blocked, and that happened. Something like FIFA happened, where the ball just miraculously ended right back up on his foot. But he still had to put that one away, dude. Be aggressive. Take the shots. Talking about Lalo's comment, not having huevos on the road. You got to start taking shots, man. I would love to see, and if somebody has the wherewithal to go on to whatever website to find that out, maybe Roddy if you're in the broadcast, and see what our shot count is compared to other teams when we're on the road versus at home. Something is disjointed here, man.
I honestly, but just looking at it, watching the game, they never got into a position to take those shots. They never got even close to the box most of the time. I feel like they got 3/4 of the way there and then just died. And the ball went the other way. It just wasn't happening.
Jorge says Dome makes the other team look like Barcelona.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, biggest mistake you could do with this team is having them go into defensive shells. And that's pretty much what he wanted to do. They had a 1-0 lead. He throws out a 4-5-1 and tells them to still press, but guess what? You're just inviting onslaught, and all of a sudden guys you just can't handle it. It's not feasible. Especially when you're missing one of you're missing one of your better players in your center back in Collins. But those two guys we have are more than capable of answering, stepping up to the plate and answering the question.
Dude, but I don't dude.
You just can't do it. You have
is
to
not the problem.
Strive. You got to constantly strive on offense. You really do. You have to constantly strive. You have to win the game in the middle of the field, and we're just not doing it. You went with a 4-5-1, and you ended up with a 4-1-5, and you're expecting not to get 27 shots taken on you. I don't get it. Listen, stop parking the bus. You want to park the bus? Park the bus and you're up 4-0. That's it. Otherwise, don't do it. Just keep trying to score. You keep trying to, keep the foot on the throat and don't let them back up. Because when you let them back up, game over.
Yeah, Andrew on Facebook says Ibiaga was terrible on that header goal. I just, again,
which was a handball, by the way.
Which was totally a handball, but whatever. Listen, that a goal is a goal is a goal.
I honestly, if you want to tell me that's natural hand position, that's fine. Go to the videotape. Go to the video and
Mike
show
on Facebook.
Effort.
Mike from Blue City Radio. What's up, Mike? Is saying
Mike.
how is 415 parking the bus? I don't think that's
No. A 4-5-1 is what he wanted. He wanted to play more defensive minded, but they ended up losing total control and ended up having one guy in the midfield and Alex Ring. He even said it. He had one guy in the midfield and everybody else was playing, just running around crazy forward. That's why I'm not saying parking the bus. I'm saying just taking a more defensive minded approach. I don't think with a 1-goal lead, this team can do that. And we've seen it time and time again. Whether there's a half hour left, 15 minutes left, 5 minutes left, you're just inviting onslaught that you're asking for it. You're asking for goals to be scored. Anytime somebody takes 27 shots on you, bad things are going to happen.
Whoa, dude, Joey is coming in with the fact check.
Oh, boy.
Joey says 18 shots per game at home with 5.8 on target, 12.4 on the road with 4.4 on target. So we're shooting less on the road, but we're just about as efficient. So
it's not that's terrible. It's just I don't know why is the game that much different away from the Bronx? Why? I don't get it. From a team that was dominant on the road.
I don't want to get into a stadium-size conversation. I don't want to get into any of this. It's just we've been talking about this dude, for the past 6 weeks, right? For the past 5-6 weeks, for the past month and a half almost, we've been talking about this team getting uglier and uglier. And listen, I think to Joey's comment earlier in the broadcast, the game that we won was just as ugly.
Yeah.
So, when we beat Toronto, so I don't know. Something's got to change. Let's get to the dude of the match. All right, who is the dude of the match for this crappy ass game that NYCFC decided to attempt?
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, if I'm giving it to anybody, it's definitely going to their squad. But
Sean Johnson, in the comments, let us know. Sean
Johnson had a fantastic game. He was really solid. Again, did all that he pretty much could to keep the score where it was. But again, I have a hard time giving it to our team when they don't give full effort.
Sean Johnson, Michael, Andrew voting for Sean Johnson, dude.
Yeah, I think he deserved it. I mean, if they would have won or if they would have tied, but again, I just think this particular game knocked so much wind out of me, just for the fact that Red Bull and Atlanta finally decided to drop points.
Dave on Facebook says Wallace. Can we all, Dave, get out of here.
5 minutes in the penalty box. Go.
That's it. Get out of here. I understand. That it's really tough when a performance like this happens. Roddy Russell's trying to give it to Justin Miram, who decided that he decided that Orlando wasn't for him. Surprise. Miram was voted. Mike, Blue City Mike is saying Miram was voted man of the match, but that goal was a handball and a foul. So no. So I'm not giving it to Justin Miram because he shouldn't have scored that goal.
I'll tell you what though, he found himself in plenty. He found himself, I think, in like at least 2 or 3 other like point blank opportunities, and Sean Johnson shut him down.
He was
very well.
Yeah,
very well. I think Awful had a good game. Awful was not awful.
Awful was awfully good.
Actually, you know what? Real quick, let me pull up my real quick.
While you're doing that, I want to get to a comment here. I want to get to a comment here, dude. While you're doing that, Mike says, on the road, it takes one extra pass to move the ball into the attacking third. I think you're referring to pitch size. So that kind of speaks to the point that I was trying to make early on when I was talking about the quality, Mike, was that if our quality in that final pass isn't there and we need one extra pass when we're on the road, who's giving it to us? We have zero creativity when it comes to that. So I think playing on the road on a bigger pitch to some extent, if that's the case, does impact our ability to create scoring opportunities. So what do we do? What do we do about it? That's the next question. Michael, what do we do about it? Because we don't have the quality to get that final pass there. If we're able to find a pass that, goes from Alex Ring to find, Tajiri Shradi in a corner to try to create an attacking opportunity, that pass to Tajiri Shradi is not getting there. And that's the pass that we need. We need that biting pass, that one final pass. Dude, did you find
I did. I found it. So Justin Meram actually absolutely raked this game in Audi Index. He's got 1,365 points.
He also cheated.
Deduction for the handball. So your next best player at 666 points, which is less than half of that. But it is Sir Sean Johnson.
Okay, dude.
So he gets it.
Let's give it to Sean Johnson. Due to the match, episode 121.
Yeah.
Again,
having him back there is a really big positive. It's just that this team is so spotty when it comes to, if one thing's working, something else tends to fall apart. It's like never having all the pieces of the motor in the right spot. You can never get everything running together smoothly at once anymore, like we did in the beginning of the season. It's now if one thing's broken, we fix it and we go somewhere else and something else is broken. I just don't know how to get this squad back on track. There's just no one answer at this point, I guess.
Let's move away from this game, dude. Let's move away from this game. I want to get to some of the comments here, maybe to spark some other conversation before we get into our,
Let's do it.
For our final quarter hour here, and let's see. Dave on Facebook is asking, is the Shield gone now? Atlanta and Red Bull play each other still. Well, Domek conceded the Shield, so as far as he's concerned, yes.
He conceded and then he backpedaled. That his comments were not. That's not what he meant to say. That's not what he intended to say. Listen, if you're having this much trouble communicating, either speak Spanish and have it translated, or shut the hell up. Because it's the second year in a row we've had coach concede the Shield, and I think it's really damaging to the players hearing that their coach doesn't think they're good enough to win these games. As far as I'm concerned, get the Shield out of your head. Don't even focus on that.
Get the Shield out of your head.
It's not worth the thought at this point. Because with this form, you don't have to worry about the Shield because you're not even going to get there, but you'll be bounced in the first round of the playoffs. At this point in time, what needs to be focused on for this team to be successful this season and make a deeper push into the playoff picture, they have to find form between now and the end of the season. That is the biggest concern this team has right now. It's not playoff positioning. It's not who you're playing. Don't worry about home field advantage at this point. Yep. I understand you like playing in Yankee Stadium, and that would be fantastic. At this point in time, all of that needs to be pushed aside, and the only thing that matters is finding good form.
That's it.
Good form will carry you through the playoffs regardless of where you play or who your opponent is. Right now, you need to find form and win a couple games and go into the playoffs, whatever standings you may be in, whatever spot you may be in.
Doesn't matter
if you go in with a 3-game winning streak, you are much better off than finishing second or third place having lost 3 in a row. I don't care what anybody says. Prove me wrong. Hot teams that just make it into the playoffs can cause just as much damage as a team sitting in first.
And that's my problem with the playoffs. But but you're absolutely right. And I would answer that question the same exact way, dude. If the shield might be a byproduct of the form you pick up towards the end of the season at this point. If it happens, it's just icing on the cake, and you're absolutely lucky that Red Bull and Atlanta don't fall out of form. It's just again, I wouldn't necessarily say give it up, but don't be the focus. The focus is getting that streak, getting those few wins going into the playoffs will be worth a lot more than winning the Supporter Shield and getting knocked out in the first round. A hell of a lot more. It's going to go.
If you win all those games, if you win out the rest of the season, and you end up picking up the Shield, that's fantastic. It's glorious, and you've done something for your Champions League hopes and stuff. Right now, this team
got to win games.
Do you realize that this team, if they made it to the Champions League, they would be snuffed out so quickly it wouldn't even be funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a lot more to worry about in the standings right now. We have serious problems with form and personnel and all these things that are going on that need to be addressed before we even address these other standings issues. At this point, I'm not saying give it up. I'm saying that if you really want it, you're going to have to win every single game, and you're going to have to treat every game as such. And from the last 5-6 games I've seen, there is no chance of that happening because this team doesn't show that they want it that much.
Yep. Dude, let's get to a couple more questions here because we're running out of time here because we got some good stuff on here. John Levin, what's up? John is asking, will Amagat start on Wednesday? Amagat.
Oh my God, I hope not. I don't know. Honestly, at this point,
I would not be surprised, dude. He put Amagat in. Dome played Amagat his first start in the Hudson River Derby, like.
So I guess you might as well play him now, right?
So he's probably going to start because, dude, who do we have on international duty? We've got 4 players out. We got Afori, we have Wallace, we have Tajiri Shradi, and Ring.
No.
Stop. Break it down. Somebody find me those 4 players because I know Afori and Wallace are definitely out, and I'm pretty sure Tajiri Shradi is also
out, and
maybe
the one
Chanel.
we're Chanel, yes.
Could be Chanel.
So,
Joey is saying start Bedoya. See what he's got. That's certainly an option. Yes, it is
listen,
Chanel, not Ring. Yes. Sorry, guys. Ugh.
you brought the kid in for a reason. At this point, listen, you've got...
You got Awua, you got Bedoya, and Sands also available. Sands should be back on loan from Louisville. Louisville said they would totally take him back, by the way. So,
I mean, he's a good player. So, for me personally, at this point, Wallace, thank God he's leaving. Who you're going to fill in for him? You got Burgett and Medina out for another 2.5 weeks or so, according to Dome.
Start Jonathan Lewis.
Yeah, I would, and again, I think these guys will still make the Wednesday game.
Nope.
No, they're out for the Wednesday game as well.
Yep.
So they're out for Wednesday and Saturday.
Correct.
Okay, so in that case,
we done. We done.
Yeah, I mean, well, what's your projected lineup at this point for
Kitman Dan
Wednesday? Kitman, okay.
Kitman Dan. The NYCFC Pigeon.
Where are these guys playing? I need spots here.
Listen, we have the players to do it. I think it's going to be a very difficult. It's going to be a very difficult couple of games. That's my prediction.
It's going to be tight, especially playing from Wednesday to Saturday.
You got New England. You got New England that's fighting, and you've got DC who is fighting like freaking crazy, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. I think you need to see every single player available over these next 2 games.
Sure.
I think you have to. Whoever's available has to play
I
either.
think you're going to see. I think you're going to see Sweat and Matarrita on the left-hand side. I think you're going to maybe see. I think you're maybe going to see Tati and Tinnerholm on the right, or possibly Lewis and Tinnerholm on the right-hand side. I mean, at this point, dude. At this point, I don't even care. I don't care who starts. You know why? You want to know why I don't care who starts? Because unless this team shows something different than what we've seen for the past 5 weeks, it doesn't matter who you put out. It doesn't matter who you put out there. You could have a full healed lineup, and you still put out absolute garbage on the field. This team needs to start clicking. They need to start respecting their coach, and they need to start getting better because, dude, we are how many games away? We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we got? Like 8 games left. We're in deep, deep, deep trouble.
Yeah, yeah. For me, honestly, if you want to talk about potential lineup, I'm going with Johnson, obviously. Sweat, Callens, and Chanel. Sweat, Callens, and Biaga. Sweat, Callens, and Biaga. Tinnerholm.
If Collins is back. If Collins is in full.
Yeah, he should be. He should be. But if not, you might see Alex Ring back there. And maybe James Sands or Bedoya taking a spot in the midfield, or vice versa. You might see Sands at center back, which would be a little crazy. But I'm going to go on the limb and say he's back, because he said he was back on, he said he was going to be ready to be back. So let's go with that back four, your midfield of Ring, Morales, and Tati. Your forwards are going to be Mata, Villa, and Lewis. That's something that I would like to see. And then your subs are your subs. Put them in as you see needed, and whoever's available is available. That's fine with me. I don't see them having the ability to have an impact substitution just because of how many people are depleted. I think your impact guys are going to have to be starters for at least one of the games. And then the other game, I don't know how much of impact they're going to make if they're going to be, either recovering or being saved for the following game. So it's going to be interesting, mid to end of the week to see what goes on. But I would not rely too heavily on Amagad just because of his age and the unfamiliarity with the league and the opponents and things like that. I just don't. I don't see him changing the way he played from last game. I don't think he has enough time to adjust, especially at his age. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're just throwing it up in the air and seeing what happens. Dude, I want to get to another question here on Facebook. Joey on Facebook says, question for you guys. Assuming we get third or fourth place, would you rather play Atlanta or Red Bulls in the second round? I know we're getting like a little far ahead here.
Yeah, we have to win the game before that. We have to win a game before that.
But who you got? Who's your guy? Who's your team? In the comments, guys, who would you rather play? Let's answer Joey's question in the comments. Would you rather play Red Bulls or Atlanta in the second round?
And why? And tell me why, because I need to be persuaded here.
Wait, what?
Have everybody put down who you think, but give a reason why you want to play them, because I need to be persuaded. I need to hear some ideas as to why you want to pick these two teams.
Okay, I'm going to say Atlanta, and the reason why is because when you look at their performance this past weekend, if DC United could shut them down, then we can shut them down. We've actually kept their goal scoring at bay, dude, when you really think about it. When you look at the goals conceded against Atlanta versus the goals against for Red Bull, I think we have a better chance of Atlanta just mathematically goal-wise. So especially if we're going to play a two-legged, series, we want to see I'd rather see Atlanta personally.
Okay. I could deal with that.
I'm just looking at history. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at history
honestly
tends to repeat itself.
Losing that game, I would feel better losing to Atlanta than I would losing to Red Bull. I don't want to have to hear Red Bull fans, so I will pick Atlanta. I would much rather lose to Atlanta than lose to Red Bull.
Dude, Atlanta seems to be the ones that are coming in hot in the comments here. Michael is saying Atlanta because we just haven't played them that much. Let's see. We've got Dave says Atlanta. Let's face it, the Red Bulls have a history of smoking us way back when we drew Atlanta this year. Atlanta because they have all the pressure to win it all. We've got let's see, Roddy Russell, Atlanta because we've been even with Atlanta head to head this season, 2-2 in at Mercedes-Benz and 1-1 at Yankee Stadium. If that was a playoff, if that was playoff scores, we'd be through. That's a good point. So
yeah, good point.
I'm going Atlanta again. I just feel like that's
Atlanta. I'm good with Atlanta too. I think that's a fair assessment.
Lalo is saying if we play Red Bull in New Jersey, we'll get another 4-0. It would be interesting to see them in the playoffs. That's for That's for sure. But I don't want to. I'd rather them get knocked out by Philly. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So.
Hey, we're in stoppage time.
Yes, we've hit the stoppage time, and dude, there's really just one thing I want to touch on during stoppage time, and that is is the unfortunate passing of one of the NYCFC faithful. Now I didn't know her, dude. I didn't know her. Maybe some of you in the comments did. I know Mike from Blue City had tweeted something out, which we'll probably link in the show notes. But Tirza Gonzalez passed away. Don't know why. I don't even know exactly when, but I know that she was a devout NYCFC fan. Actually got married on opening day, right, dude? A couple years ago.
Which was actually one of the coolest things I've ever seen at a sports venue. I mean, you're talking about like full wedding gown and then just ready to absolutely rock. Where most people are dreaming of getting married in a castle or a beautiful venue, and some people just love their surroundings right where they are. And just hearing stories from everyone, she was a great person, a great mom, a great friend, and a great fan. And again, NYC loses another one of their huge supporters and very influential people in the community. So we'll try to post the link of the GoFundMe if you guys can. We'll set it up and you guys can donate. Every little bit helps. Again, like I said, she's a mom. I think she left 2 kids behind. Yeah, so it's unfortunate and it's sad, but listen, it's part of life, and we just hope that her family sticks together, and we hope that they move forward, and we wish the best for them from this point moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts and prayers to family, friends, loved ones from the Dudes in Blue. Yeah, really, really, really sorry to hear. It's always that's always tough. So yeah, I'll link the GoFundMe in the show notes, guys. So if you guys are listening on the podcast, or if you're rewatching on YouTube, wherever it might be, just look at the show notes and you'll see the link to the GoFundMe page. I know Michael from Blue City Radio had also tweeted it out. I'm sure we'll retweet it as well. So rest in peace. Listen, guys, we really appreciate it. Not to end on that kind of a
somber
note, but yeah, this has been episode 121. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We had fun on this Labor Day. Hope you guys had a great Labor Day weekend and a great week back at work. We will be back. I'm assuming Thursday night, dude, for after the match. Are we doing that after the Revolution match? To be determined.
Yes, to be determined, because it might be again like the Rebel game where the following week there's really nothing going on.
No,
and
there's a game Saturday. We got the DC game.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no. So Thursday night it shall be. You say Thursday, and Thursday it shall be.
Keep it locked to the Dudes in Blue. Make sure to give us the follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you don't already. We're at Dudes in Blue. And your review on iTunes or Facebook is greatly appreciated. So thank you guys again for hanging out with us on this Labor Day. And if you're listening on the pod, thanks so much for tuning in. We will be back next time for episode 122. But until then,
stay blue.
That's like a rhyme. Like that was like a story time rhyme. We'll be back for episode 122, but until then, stay blue. Good night, guys.